there, everyone. Today, my contemplations and my musings have centered very much around Mother Earth and how very bountiful she is and how very gracious she has been to us and how we have taken her for granted. I think in this time of isolation, the vast majority of us have certainly reflected upon how very interconnected we are, how very interdependent we are on one another, and how I can create my reality, but I am incredibly dependent on the way in which you create your reality, on the way in which you show up and behave and treat the earth, as you are dependent on the way in which I behave. It's been astounding that one tiny little microscopic organism can literally take us down. And so I think that for many of us, the concept of our place, our space, our rights, if you will, on this beautiful planet has become so exceptionally highlighted. One of the very best things I've read on social media in this time, which profoundly impacted and guided my thoughts for today, was this. Remember, we are the guests of Mother Earth and not her masters. And if one thinks of that metaphorically, as a guest, when you're invited into somebody's home, you step in with a certain sense of respect, a certain sense of reverence for their rules, their space, their time, a certain respect for their home. And while the guest will most often, in most circumstances, lay on the very best available, the guest will provide the best food, the best wine, the best cutlery and crockery that they have for us to enjoy and for us to partake in the very best that they have to offer. At the end of the day, we step back, we return, we allow the host to resume the position of master in their own home. And I think that's what we've neglected to do. I'm thinking particularly of the turtles in Mozambique and how, as humans enjoying our holidays, we've lost all regard and all respect for the fact that we have a position and a place and a time to enjoy the bounty of the earth. And yet we have to step back. We have to leave the beaches. We have to leave the forests. We have to leave nature to rule over herself at appropriate times and spaces. We're not invited into a host's house when it's time for procreation. As strange as that sounds, let's consider that in terms of the turtles on the beaches. We should not or ought not to be invited to spend time on those beaches when it is the time for nature to procreate. We need to step back and allow her to own her own space. And so I would like to step back out after this time of isolation, not with an attitude of, oh, I can't wait for this, I can't wait for that. Although, yes, in many respects that I can't wait for is simply the notion of I'm longing to reconnect. Yes, I'm longing for the familiar and the routine and the known as opposed to the unknown, but I'm longing to form connections once again. However, the I can't wait seems to imply that we'll just rush out with absolute disregard and continue the pace and continue the behaviors that have been so very destructive. Whereas the concept of I'm longing for the moment when I can step back out tentatively, carefully, consciously, back into the world, back into my holidays, my travel destinations, my workplace, my friendships, with an entirely new perspective, and to go gently, gently, gently into those spaces, with a new concept and a new awareness of how we are all co-creators. And what is my responsibility to myself, to others, and to Mother Gaia, so that we can avoid the kind of calamities that we're facing currently. Fiona D'Souza, Shekhinah Wellness Centre.